What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking on this week's video. The boat is completely done. I'm happy to announce we have completely finished restoring this old 1974 John boat. Last week's video, if you caught it, we did a full camo paint job. I did a stencil, kind of a mossy oak bottomlands look to it. And in that video, I let you guys know I was still waiting on the wiring and the graphics that I had designed for the side of this thing. That all came this week. I got the wire installed. I've got the bilge pump hooked up. All of our lights and USB ports are installed. I'm gonna walk you guys through that in this video right here at the beginning so you can get caught up on, I can kind of show you the outcome of the boat. And then we're gonna jump on to the trailer build. If you remember, when I brought this boat home, it did come with a trailer, but the trailer was in rough condition. I was actually surprised that the trailer made it home the day that I bought this boat. I bought it like an hour away from my house, and it did make it here. So today we're gonna completely restore it. I don't want this boat to look this good and be completely rebuilt and then we put it on an old wore out trailer. So we're gonna overhaul the trailer today. I've got wheels and tires from wreckstuff.com. We're gonna do new fenders, paint, lights, the whole shebang. It's gonna be a brand new trailer and I'm gonna try to build it to match this boat. So before we can even put this boat on the water, we gotta get that trailer built and I wanna knock it out, hopefully, all in this video. So I'm gonna walk you guys through this boat and then we're gonna pull that old trailer in here and get to work. So like I said, at the beginning of last week's video, when we did this custom camouflage paint job, I went over where the batteries are, how I was running the wires and all that. I just, at the time, didn't have the wires to do the install. So real quick, I'm just gonna show you the panel that I installed, and it's this bad boy right here. And it's just a quick switch panel I found off Amazon. I'll have all this stuff linked in the video description if you're interested in adding something like this. Let me see if I can get this camera around to show it to you a little closer. And I've got USB ports on here. This first switch that's lit up, I tied that into the main power. So there's no power to this panel until you flip that switch, and then it gives power to all these switches and these USB ports and this 12-volt port that I got here. The first one is some interior lights that I installed. If you look right here in the front, I just added this little white light. It is a marine light, and it's gonna be good for being able to see if it's early in the morning or late at night to get life jackets and stuff out of that little cubby hole. And the second switch is, let's turn that off. I added a USB port to the front of the boat. If you guys remember, I told you when we were building out this hull that I wanted to be able to film with my old school DIY camera pole that I like to use on my kayak. So I installed this quick Scotty mount here, and that switch that I just turned on actually turns on this USB port here, because I like to run GoPros off the front of my boat with no battery. And if you do it with no battery, you can tie it into a main power source and run it, you know, the whole day without having to worry about dealing with dead GoPro batteries every 30 minutes or whatever. And let's see, the next switch, let me get y'all back over here where you can see, turn that one off. This one is my nav lights. Now I was gonna put the same lights that I usually do on these boats as the ones that go on the sides right here, but the way this boat was shaped, I ended up just going with the traditional front post. It just locks in the front, and then when we're not using it, I've got the holder that you seen last week in the back for them. The reason I didn't do the running lights down the side is because of the way this boat is shaped. If I put them on the side, they really wouldn't be legal because you wouldn't be able to see the running lights from the front of the boat. You have to be able to see these front navigation lights all the way around the front of the boat. So that worked out good anyway. It didn't take up any space. And I've got my rear light pole back here. They just pop off, and I've got the holders. Y'all saw last week, I've got the holders mounted back here in the little cockpit area. I love how that panel flush mounted right there. Everything's really accessible, but it's also out of the way. And the last switch on this panel, as you can see, I got it all labeled, is our bilge pump. And you can hear that actually kicking on. And the bilge pump I installed right here. I'll bump it on again. And then I just got it fed where it pumps straight out of the top of the back of the boat. Super easy, not complicated stuff, guys. That's why I went ahead and just knocked it out. It's just running red and black wires everywhere, kind of tying everything in together, making it look good and making it kind of disappear into the boat. Oh, and before I forget, the graphics for the side turned out amazing. Check that out. So as I was digging into this boat after I bought it, I found out that it is an old Fischer marine boat. I don't know why my gimbal's yelling at me. It's a Fischer marine boat, so I had the Fischer logos made. I found a shop on Etsy, and I wanted the logos on the back to match my registration numbers, and she did a great job, guys. I got them on Etsy for like, I think I paid 40 or 50 bucks for both sides of the registration numbers and these custom graphics. I'll link her Etsy shop in this video description, so if you want to get something nice made. I mean, these aren't two stickers stacked on top of each other. These are actual printed out, really high quality vinyl stickers. And I think that Hunter Orange really pops with that camo. Now we got to get this trailer brought back inside. It's been out here for the last 2 or 3 months as we built this boat out, and it's been raining for like the past couple of days. I'll show you where the trailer's sitting back here. I do got the bonafide off of it now. I've had the bonafide on there for the past couple of weeks. I slid it on top of Trailer Swift. I'm trying to keep y'all from getting wet right there. I slid the bonafide off. We are gonna jump on that project as soon as this one's done. We don't have much longer on this John boat build. We're gonna do the trailer today, and then we're gonna go out and test out that NT300 from Newport Vessels, that all electric setup that we're gonna have on the back. The electric motor is gonna be awesome. But after that video, I think we're gonna bring that bonafide back in here, get back to work on it. But let's get that trailer in the shop and start getting it dried off. Man, this thing is rough, guys. I'll give you a quick walk around of what it looks like and kind of go over some of the stuff that I've got that we're gonna be installing. Hopefully this goes smooth. We do gotta do some welding and some other stuff. Let me get around here and grab the camera. So I've got just about everything here that we're gonna need to overhaul this trailer, but as you can tell, I mean, I wasn't exaggerating. This trailer is in very rough shape. The runners are just falling apart. They're just, look at this. They're just trash. And then I just realized also I haven't bought my wood yet to build my runners. I've got the carpet though, so I just gotta pick up a couple of boards. I originally thought that this trailer was a homemade trailer, but after I did some research, it's actually a factory trailer for these old Fischer boats, and it's got these springs instead of leaf springs, so it's got these coil springs, and it's got some shocks on the back. Now, I'm pretty sure that these were either added on, these light poles, or either they were modified, because the weld job, I want y'all to see this, so at the end of this build, y'all don't accuse me of this being my weld. Look at this weld. Somebody went to town with a stick welder on here. We are missing a fender, which is fine. We're going with new fenders. This is a metal fender, and I think we're gonna fabricate some stuff that I ordered. I'm gonna show you guys in just a minute to make some really cool fenders. I've got some really cool ways that we're gonna be doing our loading lights, or whatever you want to call these. It's going to be our running lights, but there's also going to be lights up here for launching the boat and loading the boat and stuff like that. Got a new winch. Everything else looks pretty decent. The wires are around on the outside, but we're fixing to cut all that off and redo all of this anyway. The hitch is a 1 7/8 inch because for some reason back in the day, that's what everything was. We're going to hack this off and put a 2-inch coupling on here so that, you know, everything I've got is a 2-inch, just like everybody else. So I don't want to have to switch my ball every time I want to pull this boat. So we're going to switch that to a 2-inch. Got the new winch coming. Everything else looks pretty decent. We're going to paint it to match and put some new wheels on it. Now I'll show you the cool stuff. Here's everything that I got for it. First and foremost, yes, we partnered with Rex Stuff again for some wheels. And this is what we went with for this thing. If you guys have never heard of rexstuff.com, you definitely need to check them out. Every boat trailer, every kayak trailer, every camping trailer that I build, I use rexstuff.com. Even before I partnered with them, I always ordered it because you can get it like shipped in your house, to your house within a couple of days. And they mount the wheels for you, the tires, they're ready to go. All you gotta do is put the wheels on your vehicle or trailer or whatever when you get them. But they are awesome. I got the wheels from rexstuff.com and the fenders. Now, I usually go with their plastic fenders on kayak trailers, but I wanted these to be metal, and I wanted to be able to kind of fabricate them how I want them. So we're gonna be cutting these up because they're obviously, I'll lay this one up here real quick. They're obviously too big. You see how they wrap around that tire? We're gonna do some fabricating on them. We're gonna cut them up a little bit and make them a little bit more sturdy, something that maybe we can't necessarily walk on, but they're gonna be better than, you know, a couple of plastic fenders, I think, on the side of this John boat. Just in case the boat ever hits a fender when you're loading it, those plastic ones will bust pretty easy if you hit them too hard with a boat. So we got a couple of fenders here. We're gonna do those up, and I'm not sure yet, but I may try to paint the fenders to match the boat. I still got our stencils and everything. We'll see how I feel when I get there, depending on how much trouble this trailer gives me to build. I've got a brand new wiring harness, and I always like to add 7-pin connections to my trailers when I build them. So I also use these guys right here. They plug to the 5-pin and it turns it into a 7-pin, and I usually just keep it on there. I'll heat shrink these connections together and then have a 7-pin on the front of our trailer. I do it to all my builds, and it's really nice just having the 7-pin off the front. I got us a black 2-inch coupling that we're gonna weld on. Really cool winch with an orange strap. These I picked up because I got them cheap, like I said, on Prime Day. These are designed to go over our poles, and our poles, we're gonna be redoing our poles a little bit, and we're gonna hopefully be able to incorporate these. I don't know if we'll be able to use them, but I'm gonna try. And I picked these up. I've never used these before. These are the loading lights I was talking about. Check that out. They're designed to do exactly what these do, except for they look a lot better, and they're gonna have a light on the top. That light is just killing my shot. Let's do this side. It's gonna be facing the other way, but you get the point. It's gonna have these loading lights so we can see to line the boat up to load it, and the built-in brake and running lights and blinkers right there, all LED right there off the back. I think that's gonna work out pretty good. Found them on Amazon, and they're already black too, so we're gonna paint the trailer black so that it looks good with the boat. Now we just gotta take all of this stuff, fabricate it and make it work on this. I'm really hoping that the bearings and all are still good. The tires, even though they got nipples on them, look at this. This tire's still got nipples on it, but it is dry rotted pretty bad. The tires are dead. I was worried when I picked this boat up and brought it home that it wasn't gonna make it. So now I'm just gonna set a camera up and start stripping a lot of this stuff off, y'all. All right, good morning, y'all. It is the next day, and I got a lot done last night. I made a trip this morning to Lowe's, to O'Reilly's, to Harbor Freight to pick up some stuff. Actually, I went to get a new safety chain for the trailer. I got there and they had them on sale at Harbor Freight, so I bought 2. Because y'all know me, I'll probably be building another trailer before long anyway, but I want to show you where we're at. I did put a quick coat of paint over it before I went to bed last night, because that way I didn't have to smell the paint the whole time I was out here working this morning, and I could go ahead and pull wires and stuff like that. I did pull the hubs off. Let me show you the hubs really quick. One of the hubs was on backwards, so I went ahead and made the decision. I pulled the hubs off, and these things are old, and I also found out when I pulled those wheels off that these hubs are the ones that take studs. As you can see the holes? There's no studs on these to put lug nuts on. These actually take the stud bolts. Let me show you. That's how old this thing is. But the hubs seem to be in good condition, so I didn't buy new hubs. The bearings seem to be in good condition. I did buy a bunch of marine grade grease. Is the lighting gonna be horrible on y'all? Let me turn this way, is that better? Y'all can see what I'm doing here now. I bought some grease to pack the bearings, but this is what I'm talking about. Even though wreckstuff.com, I ordered lug nuts, I'm not gonna need the lug nuts, because I found out they take these things right here, check that out. It's a wheel stud that screws on. Anyway, that's what we gotta have. I bought 8 of those. Luckily, I found them in O'Reilly's. I bought some new wheel bearing seals. So this thing's gonna be good to go. Let me spin the camera around, show you up close. I did go ahead and cut the front tongue off. I'll show you that, and then I'm gonna get to work on this thing. Hopefully I can have it knocked out, because this video is gotta be up in 2 days. And I like to have it up in 1 day for my members, because y'all get to watch these videos early. I'm really trying my best to make sure y'all get to watch this one early, but I'm fixing to get to work. I don't wanna take any shortcuts. I want it to look good, but also, I gotta get to work, so let me show you where we're at. This thing looks completely different with a little bit of paint. It's amazing how a trailer can be transformed just by painting it. I did go around the whole trailer last night with a wire wheel on my grinder, and I knocked down any loose paint that was on this thing. Any bolts or little screws that were sticking out of it, I went ahead and ground them down. I lopped off this other fender that was over here. I still gotta figure out how we're gonna do the new fenders, and the bad thing about it is I can't figure that out until the trailer's basically built. I've got to build the trailer without fenders. I kind of want to put the boat on here and then figure out how I want to mount the fenders, because they're going to have to be fabricated up to work on here. Because this one is kind of, I had to cut it off. I think this one was fabbed up on here a few different ways. I don't know if that's factory or not. The brackets here look factory, but I don't think the way they had it mounted was factory. And I did find a tag, and it's hard to read, but I found an old tag. So this is not a homemade trailer. I looked them up. I think it was called Holclaw or something, Holclaw, out of Evansville, Indiana. And it's a 1970-something model trailer. But anyway, I found the tag on there, so now I know for a fact it's not a homemade trailer, although I think stuff like this is homemade, because those look like fence posts. And the welds, I'm sure, those welds right there did not come from that boat factory. So I cut the front tongue off because the tongue is laying right here. This thing was rough. But I was gonna just try to unbolt it, because I wanted to save as much length on the front of the trailer as possible. But as you can tell, they welded it. The back's welded, they filled in welds on the holes there on top of it, so there was no cutting this thing off. So I ended up losing about 5 inches of the length on the front of the trailer, which I think it'll be fine. I've got new chains and everything coming. Here's my little scrap yard from the trailer. But now I'm just gonna work on probably starting up here at the front. I need to do the bearings first probably, and then I'll move my way up here to the front. So the new hitch is gonna go right here, and it's gonna look like a brand new trailer. The new winch is gonna go up here. I went ahead and painted it. I couldn't find these today, but I'll probably hop on Amazon and try to order some of these new wheels. The back two look fine. This one's got a little dry rot, and this one's got a little dry rot, so I'll probably work on getting those right. And yeah, I'm just gonna hop to it, man. I've got to go downstairs and dig out the carpet for the bunks. Those are 8-foot pressure treated 2x4s that I went with. I picked out 2 of the straightest ones I could find at Lowe's this morning. I'm gonna carpet them, get them bolted on here, put the hubs on, and we're just gonna rock on from there. Like I said, the fenders are probably gonna have to go on after I've got the trailer built, because I'm gonna have to mock them up and kind of fabricate a way to mount them on there. So now I'm just gonna turn the AC back on because the rain is officially done, and my grass has probably grown 6 inches since yesterday because it is so hot and humid out there today. I'm gonna kick the AC on and get back to work on this thing. Hopefully have it knocked out by the time I go to bed tonight. Fingers crossed, I want to anyway. Good morning, guys. It is day 3 and we are officially done with this trailer, and it is finally time to put this boat on the trailer for the first time in at least a month, maybe over a month. But the trailer is not completely finished. As you can see, the fenders aren't on there yet. I want to run the boat on here, and the way these poles are so leaned over, I'm gonna have to really look into fabricating these up, and I didn't want to hold this video up with that. So in the future, I'll show you how I end up doing these fenders. I've got the fenders here. It's gonna take me a little while. I don't want to rush through it and put some really crappy fenders on there. I kind of want to get creative with it. But other than that, the boat can go on the trailer. So I'm gonna grab the camera, walk you guys around it. What do you think? I think it turned out great. The wheels look fantastic on there. If you are building a trailer like this, guys, again, wreckstuff.com is where I get all of my boat trailers, my boat trailer wheels, the tires, you get them mounted, balanced, shipped to you, ready to go, like you've seen me do. I just picked them up and bolted them right on the trailer. They work great. I use those guys for all of my fenders and my wheels and stuff for all of my trailer builds. Get you some. I'll have it linked in the video description with probably a promo code to save you some money if you do end up getting you some wheels for your boat trailer. But this thing is awesome. These lights turned out really good. At first I didn't like the angle of these light bars, but they kind of grew on me. Adding this little slip cover, I think really makes a difference, and it's loose on there. So when the boat does hit these going on and off, instead of like twisting the pole, it'll just spin the little cover around. It's like, feels like a little neoprene cover. But let me walk you guys around it, and then I'm gonna hook this up to my truck, and we're gonna slide the boat on for the first time and see how it looks on here. Man, those wheels look awesome. I love a 5-spoke rim like that, and finding a good wheel on a 4-lug is just really hard to do. These old 4-lugs are really hard to find in a nice wheel. You can find those old cheap wagon wheels just about anywhere, but getting a nice one like this, I'm glad I decided to go that route. They look good. As you can tell, I put some bearing buddies on the hubs. I repacked the bearings. There's new seals. This thing's ready to go for another 50 years, man. The fenders are gonna be a little tricky, and this is the angle I'm talking about. See how this bar goes really far over? I'm gonna have to make sure that I hug the top of this wheel really well with a fender and come off with my brackets, and that's why it's gonna be a little bit complicated to fab something up. I'll get it done, and when I do, I'll be sure to update you guys and show you. The bunks turned out great. I just wrapped them in leftover carpet from the boat, so everything matches. That carpet is actually left over from when we built the deck system for that boat. The winch looks good on here. Even went with the orange strap on the winch, and it matches our numbers really good. I don't know why, but I decided to go with the orange theme. You know, that hunter orange looks good with that camo. Here's the lights. And I've already checked the wiring as I installed them, like I always do with the trailers. All the wiring should be good. I've got these top lights. I was originally gonna put the top lights wired with the blinker and brake, but as I was installing it, I decided not to. I decided to keep these as running lights. That way, when I am parked in the water at night trying to load the boat, I don't have to have like flashers on to see the tops of these poles. It should keep the lights lit up pretty good for me so I could see the load and unload. I forgot to show y'all this, but I'm sure y'all seen me install it in the video. I added me a little swing down hitch. I picked that up at Harbor Freight for like 35 bucks. We got our 2-inch hitch on the front. Got some brand new chains. Here's the 7-pin connector. I love adding these because they're nice and cooled, so they'll stretch out, and then when they're not there, they don't lay on the ground. They just kind of dangle like that. I'm hoping we'll be able to slide this right up on there, maybe use the winch a little bit to winch it up. I love this cart. I can just maneuver these little boats all around in the garage. It looks like I'm gonna have to modify the handle of this winch just a little bit, because when I get it to there, I can't, it's hitting this handle on the front because it sticks out just a little bit too far. Y'all, this trailer looks great up underneath this boat. I'm so glad I decided to go ahead and restore the trailer. This boat just looked too good to throw on top of a trailer that didn't match it, and I think it matches perfect. I absolutely love these lights. This probably will not be the last time you see me use these on my channel. This is the first time I've used them, and I think they're really cool. I love how I've got that top light to be able to guide me to get on and off at night. We do got to add the fenders. Like you've heard me say a million times already, they are gonna end up throwing dirt and rocks up on our boat, and we don't want that. So I'll probably have those on within the next week or so, and I'll update you guys when I do it. If you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you follow me there, because I do a lot of behind the scenes updates, and you get to see stuff kind of before you get to see it here on YouTube. Also, members get to watch these videos early every week. I upload every Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. If you're a member, usually you get to see these a couple of days in advance before everybody else. So if you want to support the channel, it's $5 a month. Become a member. Just click that join button right up under this video. If you can't do that, just hit that subscribe button. Follow along with these builds. This one's not done. We got to test out this NT300 next from Newport Vessels. This is going to be an all-electric John boat. So we're going to take it out. We're going to do a speed test. I want to see, after I added all this weight to this boat, how fast we can get this all-electric motor to push it. And I wanna do a range test on this thing and a bunch of cool stuff. So y'all stay tuned. Everything I use in this build, don't forget, is linked in the video description up under this video. If you wanna get you some wheels from wreckstuff.com, that's there. Fenders, you can get everything you need from them to restore a trailer like this. Newport Vessels NT300, link below with promo codes. So if you wanna save some money, if you're gonna buy this stuff, use my links, use my codes, and you'll save you some money at checkout, along with bassboatseats.com. That's where I got these seats, that's where I got the carpet, the glue, everything you need to restore a boat will be linked in the video description below. And I appreciate you guys following along with these builds, I really do. So next Monday at 6, it's gonna be a different video. We're doing some camping out in the trailer, so y'all stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this week's video, guys. I really appreciate you watching. I appreciate you following along with these builds. If you hadn't hit subscribe yet, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button if you like this video, and I'll catch you guys next Monday at 6 o'clock. Peace.